Weekdays with Bernie segment tonight. White hot controversy surrounding the mass murder in Santa Barbara, California. Last Friday, 6 innocent people were killed by 22-year-old Elliot Rodger, who apparently held a grudge against women because they were not friendly to him. 13 other Americans were wounded by this maniac. Whenever that kind of thing happens, knee-jerk reactions almost instantly appear. Writing in the Washington Post, film critic Ann Hornaday said, quote, "For generations, mass entertainment has been overwhelmingly controlled by white men whose escapist fantasies so often revolve around vigilantism and sexual wish fulfillment. Rodger's rampage may be a function of his own profound distress, but it also shows how a sexist movie monoculture can be toxic for women and men alike," unquote. In that column, Ms. Hornaday singled out the movie Neighbors, which stars Seth Rogen. She also named director Judd Apatow as a white man who is offensive directing his films. In response, Rogen said to Hornaday, "I find your article horribly insulting and misinformed. How dare you imply that me getting girls in movies caused a lunatic to go on a rampage?" Mr. Apatow tweeted, "She uses tragedy to promote herself with idiotic thoughts." Joining us now from Miami to react, the purveyor of BernardGoldberg.com, Mr. Goldberg. So this is pretty intense.
Yeah, this is an example, Bill, of shallow, unserious thinking masquerading as thoughtful journalism. People out there should really read the whole column and make a decision for themselves. I posted it on my website, so it's easy to get. But if this film critic wants to write a column about mental illness and guns, be my guest. If she wants to write a column about the thing that's really bothering her, the feminist issue that's really getting to her, that white men, as she puts it, control Hollywood, then write that column. But if she's going to link movies and murder, if she's going to write, as important as it is to understand Rodger's actions within the context of the mental illness he clearly suffered, it's just as clear, her words, it's just as clear that his delusions were inflated, if not created, by the entertainment industry he grew up in. Well, you know what? She has no clue as to whether that's true or not. She just made it up. I'm not suggesting, Bill, I'm not suggesting at all that the popular culture doesn't affect the greater American culture. What I'm saying is, in this case, she doesn't offer a shred of evidence, not a single quotation that would indicate that those movies should be linked at all to those terrible murders.
All right, since you've studied the column, I've read it, but I have two questions that maybe you can answer. The first one is, as you rightly pointed out, the woman is angry that white men have dominated the film industry. That's true, they have, all right, but she doesn't like it. And then she kind of says that the whole movie culture is vigilantism and these gross-out comedies that make women look silly. But correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of other movies out there. There are those kinds of films, all right? But they don't, it's not like every other movie is that.
No, right.
You know.
No, that's a fair point. This reminds me of 1970s angry feminist rhetoric, because it isn't thoughtful, it isn't intelligent. You know, what, let me ask her this. Millions of people watch these movies that you, the film critic, don't like. Millions of young men watch those very same films. How come we don't have hundreds of cases where they go out and kill people?
That's a very, very good point, because it's a myth. That's why.
And forget hundreds.
She's perpetuating a myth.
Why don't we have two examples?
Well, I'm sure you could find some people who are crazed and do things because they're stimulated. Remember the movie Taxi Driver? A bunch of people said, oh, I did it because of that, and all of that. But the other thing is...
And what do they have in common? What do they have in common? Mental illness.
That's right.
That's the key.
Sure. Hinckley, who shot Reagan, they all come back to it. But I made a campaign, mini campaign about Beyonce's videos affecting young girls, unsupervised children, in a negative way, in my opinion. But I didn't do what Hornaday did. I didn't say that Beyonce caused anybody to do anything. I just said that I believe this has a deleterious effect on these children, and they perhaps may act out, but I didn't. This is a cause and effect. I mean, this is serious. When a Washington Post film writer says that Judd Apatow and Seth Rogen, just by appearing in the film, they're somewhat responsible for this guy. I don't blame these guys for being teed off. I'd be furious because I've been attacked the same way.
Absolutely. Now she is saying I never said that they were responsible.
She never singled them out.
No, I'm telling you what this woman is now saying. Oh, I didn't blame them. I'm just raising questions, is what she says. Well, you know what? Read that column. As I said, it's on my website. It's easy to get. You cannot escape the conclusion that these films that portray women in certain roles and men who don't get the girl as feeling as that the world is against them and life is unfair. And guess what? One of them went out and killed a whole bunch of people. You can't help but concluding that she is linking, at absolute least linking, if not blaming,
cause and effect.
The films
That's what she's doing
on the murders.
That's right. All right, Bernie.